Picture this. A 15-year-old kid pulls up from half court, drains the shot, and points at the crowd before the ball even swishes through the net. Fast forward to today. That same kid is dropping 31 points per game in the NBA, making veteran defenders look like they're stuck in slow motion. Lamelo Ball isn't just playing basketball. He's rewriting the rules of what's possible on a court. From his viral half-court shots at Chino Hills to becoming one of the NBA's most electrifying stars, this is the story of how a teenage prodigy turned into the league's most unstoppable young talent. Let's rewind to where it all began. The Ball family story starts with LeVar Ball, a former college athlete who averaged just 2 points per game at Washington State. But LeVar had a vision that most people thought was crazy. He wanted to raise 3 NBA superstars. To make this dream a reality, he married Tina Ball, a 6'1" former college basketball player. Together, they created what LeVar called the perfect breeding ground for basketball excellence. From day one, LaMelo's life was different from other kids. While most children were learning to walk, he was already handling a basketball. Being the youngest of 3 brothers meant one thing. He had to get creative just to compete. Imagine being the little brother to Lonzo and LiAngelo Ball, always playing against bigger, stronger competition. This wasn't just childhood play. This was basketball boot camp that would shape one of the most unique playing styles the game has ever seen. The real story exploded at Chino Hills High School, a high school team so dominant, so explosive, that their games looked more like NBA All-Star exhibitions. The Ball brothers, alongside future NBA player Onyeka Okongwu, didn't just win games. They revolutionized high school basketball. Their fast-paced, high-scoring style turned their small California school into a national sensation. A perfect 35-0 record doesn't even tell the whole story. They weren't just winning, they were demolishing teams with scores that looked like typos in the newspaper. During his freshman year, LaMelo played a supporting role, primarily as a shooter with unlimited range. But even then, you could see flashes of brilliance that set him apart. His confidence was off the charts. Pulling up from half court wasn't just showing off. It was his way of announcing to the world that traditional basketball rules didn't apply to him. Then came his sophomore year, the season that broke the internet. 92 points in a single game. Critics called it cherry picking, said it wasn't real basketball, but they missed the point entirely. This wasn't just a kid putting up numbers, this was an artist painting his masterpiece on the hardwood. Every deep three, every flashy pass, every seemingly impossible play was building towards something bigger. But just when everyone thought they knew where LaMelo's story was heading, LeVar Ball threw a curveball that changed everything. Instead of following the traditional path through college basketball, LaMelo went pro at 16. Heading to Lithuania. Think about that for a second. A teenager who could barely drive in America, competing against hardened professionals in one of Europe's toughest leagues. The Lithuania experiment wasn't pretty. 6 points per game, limited minutes, and a style of play that felt like putting a jazz musician in a classical orchestra. But here's what most people missed. This struggle was exactly what LaMelo needed. It humbled him, taught him the professional game, and most importantly, showed him what he needed to improve. After the Lithuanian chapter came the JBA, LeVar's custom-made league where LaMelo dominated with near 40-point triple-doubles. But let's be real, this was a pit stop on a much longer journey. The real transformation happened in Australia's NBL. This wasn't just another stop, this was where LaMelo Ball became a true professional. The Australian chapter is where everything clicked. Playing for the Illawarra Hawks, LaMelo showed the world what happens when you combine natural talent with professional discipline. The flashy passes were still there, but now they had purpose. The deep threes came with better shot selection. The raw talent was being molded into something scarier, a complete basketball player. In Australia, LaMelo's game evolved in ways nobody expected. His court vision, already impressive, reached new heights. He was seeing passing lanes that didn't exist until he created them. His scoring wasn't just about launching threes anymore. He developed a deadly floater, improved his finishing at the rim, and started showing signs of becoming a 3-level scorer. The NBA draft in 2020 became one of the most intriguing in recent memory. The Minnesota Timberwolves, with the first pick, passed on him for Anthony Edwards. The Golden State Warriors chose James Wiseman second, but the Charlotte Hornets They saw what everyone else missed: a franchise-changing talent who could turn their team from forgettable to must-watch TV. His rookie season was nothing short of spectacular. Averaging 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists, Lamelo didn't just live up to the hype, he exceeded it. The Rookie of the Year award was just confirmation of what basketball fans already knew. We were watching something special. His sophomore season, even better. 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists per game, plus an all-star selection as an injury replacement for Kevin Durant. But here's where the story gets really interesting. Despite battling injuries that limited him to just 58 games across the 2022-23 and early 2023-24 seasons, Lamelo kept evolving. While others might have let injuries derail their progress, he used the time to study the game, to find new ways to dominate. Now, we're witnessing the results of that evolution. Lamelo is putting up numbers that don't seem real. 31 points per game, ranking second in the NBA in scoring. But it's not just the numbers, it's how he's doing it. Step-back threes that leave defenders frozen, no-look passes that seem to bend space and time, and a swagger that can't be taught. His game today is a perfect fusion of old-school flair and modern NBA efficiency. Watch him run a fast break. It's like watching a master conductor lead an orchestra. Every movement has purpose. Every pass has precision, yet it all looks completely effortless. That's the Lamelo paradox, making the impossible look easy while making the easy look spectacular. What makes Lamelo truly special isn't just his skill set, it's his ability to elevate everyone around him. When he's on the court, every teammate becomes a threat. His passing isn't just about assists. It's about creating opportunities that wouldn't exist with any other player. He's not just playing basketball, he's reimagining what basketball can be. The Hornets may still be building their team around him, but one thing is clear. Lamelo Ball is the kind of player you build a franchise around. His combination of skill, vision, and basketball IQ is rare enough, but add in his flair for the dramatic and his ability to make every game feel like an event. That's the stuff legends are made of. Let's break down what makes his game so special in today's NBA. First, there's his shooting range. We're talking logo distance threes that force defenders to guard him the moment he crosses half court. This isn't just showing off, it's strategic brilliance. By pulling defenders out so far, he creates massive spacing opportunities for his teammates. Then, there's his passing ability. And we're not just talking about the highlight reel no-looks. Lamelo has mastered the art of deception on the court. Watch his eyes during a game. He's constantly scanning the floor, processing information at speeds that seem impossible. He'll look left, have his body turned right, and somehow deliver a perfect bounce pass to a cutting teammate in the center. It's basketball sleight of hand at its finest. His handle is unlike anything we've seen before. Most players dribble to get somewhere or create space. Lamelo dribbles to tell a story. Every crossover, behind the back move, or hesitation dribble is like a sentence in a larger narrative. He's not just trying to get past his defender. He's trying to make them question everything they know about defending. What's often overlooked is his rebounding instinct. At 6'7", he's got the height, but it's his anticipation that sets him apart. He doesn't just grab rebounds, he starts fast breaks before the ball even hits his hands. This ability to transition from defense to offense in the blink of an eye is reminiscent of Magic Johnson. High praise, but watch any Hornets game and you'll see why the comparison fits. The impact he's had on Charlotte basketball goes beyond the stats. Before Lamelo, the Hornets were known as one of the NBA's most forgettable franchises. Now, they're must-watch TV. Every game has the potential for a viral moment, a play that will have basketball Twitter buzzing for days. He's not just changing the team's fortunes, he's changing their entire identity. Looking at his development trajectory, it's clear that we're watching a player who's still scratching the surface of his potential. His shooting percentages improve every season. His decision-making gets sharper with every game. Even his defense, once considered a weakness, shows flashes of brilliance that suggest he could become a two-way force. The NBA is entering a new era, and Lamelo Ball is perfectly positioned to be one of its faces. In a league that increasingly values versatility, creativity, and entertainment value, he checks every box while adding a few new ones of his own. He's not just playing the game, he's advancing it. But here's the scariest part. Lamelo is just getting started. At just 22 years old, he's already redefining what a point guard can be in the modern NBA. The question isn't whether he'll become one of the league's top players. He already is. The real question is, are we watching the evolution of basketball itself? Because if this is what Lamelo Ball can do now, imagine what he'll be doing in 5 years. Just remember, you're not just watching a basketball player. You're watching history being written in real time, and something tells me the next chapter is going to be even more unbelievable. Till next time.